Hey, Killian from the future here. I actually filmed this video a couple weeks ago, and then unfortunately this past week, my grandfather passed on, surrounded by family. It went about as well as you could, but I hope you enjoy this video. I guess it's kind of my tribute. Today, I'm going to show you all of the best clothing I own. Not because they're the most expensive, or because they're from the best designers, but because they mean the most to me. And this is part of the reason I'm always saying that style means more than fashion. Because fashion is inherently about the churn of season after season of trends and ebbs and flows, whereas style is at least reaching for something more timeless. And let me tell you, I have some of the most stylish clothing to show you today. But in order for you to fully appreciate it, I need to explain a few things. So, I have a grandfather. He is, thankfully, still around. He's still with us. But unfortunately, he is no longer with it mentally, I would say. So if I go back and forth in this video, talking about him in the past tense or the present tense, that's why. And my grandfather, back when he was working, when he was going to church, going out and about, he was the most stylish person I knew. He had his style dialed perfectly. It was like a prep Ivy League professorial type of look, and he really had an eye for materials. This stuff was so well made, and he just knew what worked for him. But as I implied there, he no longer needs these beautiful pieces because he's not working anymore. He's not going out anymore. So what happens to the clothes of the most stylish person I know? Well, they come to me because I'm the second most stylish person I know. I don't know. So, oh my God. All right, hold on. Ugh. This box is just some of what I got from my grandfather's closet, and I am going to be keeping a bunch of it. I am also going to be letting go of a bunch of it, selling it. Check out my gray old. But I want to show you my favorite pieces here because A, it's stuff that we have never covered on this channel. Beautiful, vintage, American designer, more preppy stuff, just not my usual stuff. And I also just want to spend some time appreciating the coolest person I know. So we're gonna dive into this box. I'm gonna show you the coolest stuff. We're gonna try things on, see how they feel, how they fit, see how they did it back then. You know how they say they don't make things like they used to? We're gonna find out if that's true, and we're gonna get our style on. So let's go. All right, I'm gonna be a good content creator and build some suspense here. And we'll start off with the stuff that I'm not keeping and work up to the stuff that I am, the stuff I think is the coolest. But there are a lot of reasons that I might not be keeping all of this. I just don't have room for everything, A, or some of it's, not my style, or condition issues, or sizing issues, a lot of reasons. So even though love my grandfather, I can't keep every single piece he owned, but there's still some really cool stuff to look at here. Like we're right up top, we already see a Brioni tie, right? This piece is super cool. This is like a super vintage suede crew neck sweater made by Breyer of Amsterdam. Wild, right? Look at that. His knits were always insane. Like this is a really wild honeycomb cashmere knit. It is by Bullock & Jones, who are one of his favorite designers, like an upscale American brand, I believe. This right here probably looks simple, but it is actually a Willis & Geiger pair of knit wool pants. But the coolest part is that they have this beautiful like burgundy leather inserting at places in these button flap pockets at the back. Super well made. This is one of the wildest ones. You know what? Let me just get it hung up. This is a vintage American flag polo sweater. Crazy, crazy details. And guess what? It is 100% wool. And it is hand knit. Like, that is gorgeous. I get it. It's distressed. Whatever. It only makes it cooler. There is some more like straight up luxury stuff. Like this is a crazy heavy, fully lined, ribbed knit Paul and Shark zip up. This thing is nutty. And I think one of the most intriguing pieces I found is this one right here. Because this right here is like a super fuzzy knit wool, I think, mock neck sweatshirt with leather suede patches and detailing here. But that's not the weirdest part. Like, it's a cool, very, very old piece. The coolest part is who made it, because this tag, first of all, weird place for the tag, but this piece was made by Frederick's Rubber Company. Why is a rubber company making a wool sweatshirt with suede patches? I don't know, but I think it's cool. And he's a guy that just like really liked leathers, you know? But it wasn't just traditional normal leathers. Because he also had things like this brown crocodile leather belt. That's real crocodile, y'all. Made in Australia, the Outback. And guess what? That's not the only one, because there was a black one too, and I'm keeping this one, and I actually already got it modified to my size to fit me, because this thing is so sick. And it is Genuine Crocodile by Torino Elite. And then probably the highest dollar piece that I got from his stuff is this watch right here. This is an Omega Seamaster automatic watch. And listen, I get it. This is not like a good Omega Seamaster, but that's kind of a privileged position because an Omega Seamaster is still an Omega Seamaster no matter which one it is. And this I would totally keep, but I'm just like not a gold person. But I really do love this watch. I think this is really gorgeous, honestly. I could go all day with this stuff. This box is huge. There's so much stuff. I'll just speed run a few more things here. Like, he was a big Patagonia guy. He liked doing outdoorsy stuff, hiking. So you've got like stuff like a ripstop parka. The cashmere knits are just on fire. And there's just bizarre stuff like this super long knit piece. It's kind of like a sailing style piece with these knit stripes all the way down the arms. I don't know, to me it reads as very like Jean-Paul Gaultier or something like that. And this is an absolutely ancient LL Bean piece made in the USA, but also made like in collaboration with Helly Hansen. So weird, but cool. Really cool, kind of like dual chest pocket, button down checkered shirt with like contrasting collar and cuffs. And this is another brand he really liked. It's called Napoleon. And as far as I can tell, I think Napoleon is the brand that Stefano Ricci did before founding his namesake label. And that's like one of the top luxury brands in the world. And if there's one thing you should know about him, he was a Packers man. He loved that stuff. So we've got this long sleeve mock neck. And this is, again, ancient Nike. Got the Packers logo again at the neck here. And take a look at that. Made in USA. So the distressing and discoloration is awesome, honestly. And I think the cool part about this is that I have a feeling you have already got a vibe on the type of person my grandpa was just by looking at this big box of clothes. And that's one of the beautiful things about clothing, is that we use it to say something about ourselves. And then you can also reverse engineer that, where if you just see someone's clothes, you can also tell things about them. But now I want to move on to the best stuff, because it's the stuff that I'm taking. The stuff that I'm like, I cannot let that go in any way, shape, or form. So let me show you. There is this sweater right here, which is a super vintage knit Yale sweater. That's what the Y is for. New Haven, Connecticut, represent. And this thing is just so sick. And it's by Alpaca Imports, who hand knit it in Nepal. Sick, right? There's this hat right here, which I think is fox fur, definitely real fur. And at least according to my grandmother, she believes they got this in China prior to the revolution. So this is some old school, real fox stuff. Authentic Chinese. Wild. And now let's look at the tees. Yeah, he has some good tees, let me tell you. I don't even think this one is that old. Like, it has the vibe of being from like the early Trump era, or maybe just pre-Trump or something. But I love the way it's taken on this like creamy peach sort of color. Like, it definitely started as white. This treatment here is sick. Like, Balenciaga is doing that treatment now. And it's just like a badass message, you know what I mean? So I'm keeping this one for sure. Then there's this beautiful tank right here. And I know it looks simple, but let me show you here. Like, you get down to the hem and you can see it is single stitch. Beautiful ribbed shoulders. And let's get the info on this thing. So it's made in USA, and it is a cotton rayon blend. That's why it feels so good. Like the feel of this is beautiful. And this one is just creepy to me. Like in reality, apparently this was a t-shirt that was made to celebrate the birthday of a doctor friend of my grandfather, but I could see like ERD or Pally making a variant of this graphic today because it's like off-putting. Once again, single stitch on a USA-made Hanes beefy tee, and you've got like a kid's picture of him on a bike, I guess, and then the same guy as an old man. And then over here, it says August 26, 1919. That was a vintage year, exclamation. What a weird message. And putting it all together, it's just creepy. I don't know, but I like it. And I think this one is absolutely beautiful. It's a single stitch, USA-made Hanes t-shirt, and the print here is just perfect. Like, okay, first look at like the cracking. It's this super heavy print that sits fully on top of the shirt, and then it kind of pulls the shirt out in a weird way. But it's this flower, and it says, "War is not healthy for children and other living things." Very, very hippie vibe t-shirt. I don't know how he ended up with this, but I think this one is incredible. And this one right here is my favorite of the bunch. This is an ancient Coors Sports Nuts t-shirt. What? Hold on, let's look at the shirt first. So this is a paper thin white t-shirt. Like you can see the texture of it. You can see my hand coming through it. Perfect. Single stitch, of course. And it doesn't even have a tag or anything. And then the graphic perfectly seeping into the fabric here. Like you can see the texture of the cotton coming through. Coors, classic logo, original sports nuts, with a black and white photo in the middle of the Three Stooges, I think. I think that's who it is. And then at the bottom, copyright 1988, Adolph Coors Company in Colorado, and Norman Moorer Productions for Columbia Pictures. That's for the Three Stooges, I guess. So this is an 80s Coors Sports Nuts t-shirt. That's like a holy grail vintage tee right there. And there is one more piece I want to show you today. I think my favorite of everything that I got from my grandfather, and the most insane. This is a vintage leather aviator bomber jacket, zip up, flight jacket style. Oh my God. And the first thing I want to say is that the patina on this brown supple leather, like the grain, you can see the skin pattern on there, gorgeous. The way it has worn is unbeatable. Like you've got spots where it's a bit more, I think, I don't know, original. I'm guessing it was like this brown kind of oiled look when he got it. But then you get spots of heavy, heavy fading where it's brightened quite a bit. And that's where there's like been the most creasing, I think, the most friction, which is really cool. But then you also get parts where it's blackened. Like, I don't know if that's the oil coming off of these parts and coming down, but it is beautiful. And I could show you every inch of this thing and find really cool spots of wear like that. But I'll keep it moving. You've got dual pockets at the front here, snap button, flat pocket style. You've got a rib knit, darker brown bomber type hem and cuffs here. And of course, this like faux fur, like fleece trim here at the neck for the collar. You got snap flaps at the shoulders, and the back is just clean. You've got this venting behind the shoulders, or like that's the look of it, right? And that comes in at a beautiful cut where you've got this strip that goes over the back. And then of course, that rib knit hem comes around the back as well here. Gorgeous, gorgeous piece. And as I mentioned, this is zip up, and the inside is fully lined in a sort of like, I don't know, quilted muslin-y fabric. But anyway, this does have a brand in it, and this was created by Knight of New Zealand, and that is a heritage tailor that still exists to this day, and they still make this exact silhouette of aviator jacket. They call it the Phoenix jacket, and it retails for I think like $3,500, $4,000, something like that. So this is a very high dollar piece today, and it was back then as well. And it's got the sizing and everything, and it even has the craftsman guarantee where they have a space to write in who the cutter was and who the artisan was who crafted it and the date and everything. Like, beautiful, beautiful stuff. So this is the type of piece that I think could last a lifetime. I think I'm going to take it to some type of specialist to kind of put a new coat on it, kind of lock in that patina. But this one, it's got decades of life left in it, even though it's already wearing. Like, that adds to the personality of it. And the fact that it's my grandfather, who I love, who gave it this patina, makes it that much better. All right, I think we've checked out enough of these pieces. It's time to try some of them on. We obviously can't try all of it on. I'm just going to throw on my favorites. Let's see what happens. All right, I think this is going to be a bit different than our usual try-ons because there's just so much stuff to try on here. So I think first I'm going to try it kind of street style. So let's start off by throwing on these Enfant Riche Déprimé, indigo blue, kind of like a raw blue jean type of thing, but these are flannel lined. They got a really nice classic straight cut, old school vintage vibes. I think it'll work well. And of course, I'm fastening these with the Torino crocodile belt in black that I got from my grandfather. Beautiful belt, like instantly my favorite that I have. His waist was much bigger than me, so like I said, I did have to get it adjusted, but they did a great job with it. And for shoes, we'll do the Balenciaga runners. These have a very, very vintage type of style, but done in a sort of like modern, chunky kind of way. All right, now I'll start throwing on some of these t-shirts. We'll start with the newest one, the Fight Truth Decay tee. And this one, I think just from the discoloration, looks much older than it is. But that message, I couldn't like quite figure out where this came from. I tried to do some Googling. I saw some like other versions from other random people, but not like this version, I don't think. But super cool shirt, whatever it is. And I'll just throw on the hat at random times here, this Chinese fox fur hat. It kind of seems to go with everything, wildly. All right, next we'll do the tank. I'm gonna tuck it in and just feel like a greaser, you know what I mean? But like, damn, this looks good. The ribbed neck and ribbed shoulders that tighten it. It doesn't have like that loose, flowy, I don't know, like Fear of God type of tank top fit that I feel like you usually see now. This is like old school tank top fit, and I enjoy it. Then we've got the doctor's birthday party shirt. I don't know what else to call it. This one actually probably fits me maybe the best of the bunch. And the colors on this one actually play best with the rest of the fit as well. And now this one I think is the best graphic, both in that like vintage, super caked on ink style, the colors, how striking it is, the like hippie vibes of it, mixed with this cut, which is a little bit more cropped, I think is awesome. This one I would probably do with a different fit just because like the, whatever it is, like fluo yellow neon green type of text doesn't really play well with the blue, but whatever. And finally, of course, we have the Coors Sports Nuts t-shirt. Like I said, this is the best feeling one of the bunch. It's got that Enfant Riche Déprimé paper thin vibe down perfectly. I think it's also the oldest of the bunch, and it's just got that classic look. Like, this is such a good t-shirt. And then finally, for this kind of more streetwear look, let's see how the aviator jacket looks. This one from Knight of New Zealand. Again, a very, very expensive like bomber jacket in brown leather. And it's fun. It does look very vintage. Like, I feel like you could pop me back into like the early 80s or something wearing this stuff, and it would look right. You know what I mean? But the one other thing I want to try is doing a version that's a little bit dressier, a little bit more dark, like the type of stuff that I tend to wear. So I'm going to throw on this pair of Carol Christian pole pants, kind of like slightly flared at the ankles. Really, really nice. So this is almost dark wear. CCP is one of the most archived dark wear type brands. And we can use the same belt, of course. And for the shoes here, I'm gonna do, these are George Cox, who's like a heritage British shoemaker, but these are done in collaboration with Anderson Bell, and they have this little kind of like, they're creepers with like a monk strap going over them, which I love. So I think this is a nice cut. This is a bit closer to like my day-to-day type of stuff that I wear. And let's just throw this Coors t-shirt back on, and yo, that looks nice. That looks striking. I like how this is working out here. And then let's try this Yale sweater. Nice and preppy. I don't know, I guess like the Y is navy blue mixing with the black, whatever. The sizing's a little weird. I don't know if I would keep this if it didn't have the Y for Yale, but like that's a heritage thing. That's a repping your hometown thing. So I can't let this one go. Also, like hand knit in Nepal. That's sick. All right, but now with the Corsi shirt on, with the CCP pants on, this more kind of, I don't know, dark fit. Now let's do the night leather jacket. And this thing looks so dope. I think black is the right pairing for this. And then putting the hat on too, like, this is a good fit. Like in the winter or whatever, this would be a lot of fun to wear. So yeah, I mean, let me know which one was your favorite, which piece, which tee, whether you like the more street style, the more like dark dressy style. I don't know. Let me know. All right, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this. This was a bit of a different video, but I really loved making it. This obviously was a labor of love for somebody very important to me, and I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Do all these like engagement-y things that help me in the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you next time.